On this very special episode, I am delighted to welcome one of this year's rising stars of 2021, Charles Osuji, the managing partner, chief executive officer, and lawyer at Osuji and Smith Lawyers. Firstly, Charles, congratulations and welcome.
Thanks for having me here.
Now, for my first question, you've made a series of bold moves during your career, from moving to Canada from Nigeria to becoming sole owner of your firm at 31. What drives you to take on these challenges?
A few factors constitute the driver for these decisions. Number one, family. I come from a very professional family. I have I have seven siblings, and the older ones are um, well-to-do in terms of their individual careers. They've made inroads in their various professions. So growing up and looking up to them as my model, I didn't have a choice but to step up my game and be responsible. Mom is a nurse, dad was a teacher, so you could imagine the kind of background I come from. So family first. Secondly, coming to Canada, there's a bunch of narratives out there for newcomers, for immigrants, people of color, and there's a bunch of ceilings out there as well for people that look and sound like me. And when I had the opportunity to buy the firm, I took it. After I received some encouragement from my mentors, Mr. Rando, my brother, Dr. Joseph Osuji, and Mr. Smith, my former partner. With their support, I took on the challenge of taking over the firm. And I realized that my story was not just for me alone. It was for people that look like me, people that sound like me, people that are coming after me. And I had to make sure that every decision I made sense, and I had the ability to support and follow through on those decisions. So I represent more than myself. I represent hope. I represent the possibility of someone coming here at such a young age and making bold moves, and taking chances and taking on risks as well. So these are the factors that propel me to work harder and be the best I can be for myself and for those coming after me.
Awesome, thank you. And you call your approach to the practice of law entrepreneurial, multicultural, and holistic. Can you tell us more about what that looks like and how it sets your firm apart?
So I took over from Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith was my former principal. He took me on as an RTN student in 2013, and I became a lawyer in Alberta in 2014. And shortly thereafter, Mr. Smith was looking to retire, and he was looking for a succession plan in place. So I became the succession plan. I made an offer to him he couldn't reject, and we became, first of all, became partners, and then I took over the practice sometime in 2017. I quickly realized that the story of Osuji and Smith is beyond just the practice of law. There's more to it. We have this old white man of Jim just turned 80 versus this young Black man from Nigeria, from across the world, coming together and putting their heads together to run a practice, without focusing on the artificial divide. So it's quite a story, and that's why I chose my last name versus a name that would sound a little more mainstream. And we came together. I began to realize that there was actually beauty, and there's power in diversity. There's power in coming together of people that kind of look different. And that has propelled my desire and my model for the firm. I focus on getting people from different diverse ethnic backgrounds. If you look at the firm, you would see, someone called my firm a small United Nations, because you see someone that represents every ethnicity for the most part. You see Spanish, you see Russians, you see Canadians, you see Nigerians, you see South Koreans, you see Chinese, you see Indians. That is my story. My story is diversity or excellence in diversity. So I find the multicultural approach to what I am doing at Osuji and Smith to be one thing that sets us apart. Secondly, I also consider the fact that law is more than just practice of law. There's also the business side of it. And I didn't know this until I took over the firm. Right now I see myself more as a business person than I see myself as a lawyer. However, I cannot sacrifice my obligations to my clients as a lawyer on the altar of business interest. In as much as law is a business, I still owe my clients the duty to be competent, the duty to have integrity, the duty to be honest with them, and ensure that their best interests are upheld.
And which of your awards and recognitions mean the most to you? What are you most proud of?
All of them. They're very important to me. I specifically like the Lexpert Rising Star Award because it's across Canada. I also appreciate the top 25 most influential lawyers that I received last year from Canadian Magazine, and the top 40 under 40 by the Avenue Calgary, and a bunch of other awards. The beauty of this recognition is that I have fortunately received recognition from various sectors. I've received industry-specific recognitions. I've received recognition as an immigrant through the Immigrant Services Calgary. I received the Achievement Under 35. Um, these are all validation of what I'm doing, what I'm bringing to the table every day, and the story that I'm telling. I take the advantage of the privilege that I have to inspire people and make sure that people that come after me have more than what I did or what I had when I came to this country about 9 years ago. So they all mean different things to me. But most importantly, I appreciate every recognition I've received as a way of creating more opportunities and changing the narrative out there for people that come after me.
Now, despite your success, you're described as kind and genuine and prioritize paying it forward through your volunteer efforts and mentoring. Why is it important to you to give back to the various communities that you're involved with?
I am a benefactor, sorry, a beneficiary of a lot of people helping me. Where I come from, we believe that a child is the product of the community. Uh, Starting from the family, my older ones looked after me, they inspired me, they motivated me. And then coming to this country, I ran into CRIEC. CRIEC stands for Calgary Region Immigrant Employment Council. It's an organization that caters to internationally trained professionals. And I was connected to the executive director, Mr. Rundle. Then I ran into Mr. Smith, who took me on as his student without knowing my story pretty much, but he just gave me a chance. And then I've run into so many mentors along the way. These are the people that have given me a helping hand without necessarily expecting anything in return. So I owe a lot of what I've achieved so far to people giving me a hand at every step of the way and leading me by the hand and showing me the ropes. The least I am required to do is to give back, to make sure that if I've been given one chance, then I give 20 chances to other people. And this is what I've been doing in the firm. We have students, we have volunteers. I volunteer with so many communities. I provide access to justice to people that cannot otherwise qualify for one. And one of my mentors once told me that you have to be a good person first for you to be a good lawyer. And that advice resonates very deeply with me. The legal profession is a profession where many people easily lose their soul and lose their core values because of how adversarial the business is, how adversarial the practice is. Once in a while, we have to step back and remember that people that come to us are not just file numbers. These are real people with real challenges, with real problems, and they must be looked after in that fashion from that humanistic perspective. So I try my best to bring kindness to work every day and also inspire my lawyers in the firm to do as well. We went from a 5, 6 member law firm to almost 20 now in the space of 3 years or 4 years. because we are very mindful of the fact that we must always bring our humanity to the work that we do. And the privilege that I've been given wouldn't make any sense whatsoever if others don't benefit from it. And I really hope that I'm remembered for the number of people that I helped in my journey and the number of opportunities I've given to others because of the blessings I've received myself.
That is awesome. Thank you, Charles. And if I may, what does success mean to you? Do you think you'll ever be satisfied with your accomplishments, or are there more bold moves to come in your future?
Success to me means someone else getting ahead because of me. That is success. If someone becomes a lawyer, gets called to the bar, um, gets their first Canadian experience in my firm, or gets a reference letter from me, and because of that finds a job somewhere, or decides to come to Canada because of my story, that is success to me. And there's definitely going to be more bold moves in the future because the more the moves I'm making, the more I'm able to help as many people as possible. We have just finalized a commercial building that is 4 or 5 times bigger than our current space, which will accommodate more lawyers, more people, more volunteers, more students. To me, that is success because I'm creating more opportunities for more people. And the more opportunities I create for people, the more successful that I feel. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with others looking up to me. I hope whoever is listening to this story or to me talk understands that there's the power of giving people a chance. And this is what has, what my partnership with Mr. Smith has demonstrated. Because of that relationship, so many people have, been given a chance and gotten ahead in their career.
Well, that wraps things up. Thank you and congratulations again, Charles. And thank you for joining us.